Everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. I hope everybody's having are prepared for your weekend, long weekend. This is actually the 1st of September, 2022, and I thought I'd come out with a message for everybody before everyone leaves because this is extremely important and some information you may not already know, but I know that we've spoken about things many times over. So I'm just going to say a few words in French and then come right back to English. Alors, je vous souhaite la bienvenue. C'est le 1er de septembre 2022 et je voulais juste faire certain que vous aviez des informations là, avant que vous partiez de vos vacances pour la longue fin de semaine. Parce que le gouvernement a fait des choses que peut-être que vous saviez ou vous ne savez pas encore. Puis, c'est important là, que vous sachiez que aujourd'hui, là, encore, cette session ici va être en anglais, mais on va vous retourner en français ensuite, un petit peu plus tard, aussitôt que la traduction va être faite pour mon texte. Alors, s'il vous plaît, ayez patience. Là. Puis aussi, je vais revenir avec pour démystifier le power shift. OK? Il y a beaucoup de gens qui ont des questions et qui ont des doutes et tout ça. On va passer là-dessus pour vous mettre les choses à l'heure, OK? Et à l'ordre. Alors, s'il vous plaît, là, ayez patience. Puis, on vous revient là-dessus. Puis, comme celle-là, je suis dans ma roue de médecine. Puis, le temps est beau. Alors, on a encore beaucoup de choses à discuter, mais on va revenir en français après. So the reason I've decided to do this is because it's really urgent. Again, everything is always urgent. Why? Because we are running out of time. We've run out of time since 2017, but we still have a good chance of, slowing things down. And some of the things that I want to clarify is that, I've told everybody that, we'd like to be able to bring an injunction in either from the UK or from Canada to the Canadian government in regards to Bill C-11. And because they are returning on September 19th to reopen Parliament. So we were hoping to be able to have something in the works for that. I just heard back from our lawyers in the UK, and they asked for direction and directives on what to proceed next. So, anyways, things are starting to get launched. However, there's still all the research that has to be done by them and our explanation of everything. And it's pretty hard because even when lawyers don't understand the self-determination and decolonization at the state level for the citizens, it's really hard for the Canadian citizens to even imagine it. Okay. But this is what we are about. We are about self-determined exercising and, our political and civil rights. And this is what you use because that's the power of the people. That's the political power that we have above government. And that's the one that we give to them on election day. So, anyways, uh, just to reiterate, now you have big decisions to make because we're at war. We are in a psychological war. We are in a physical war with our physical, in regards to physical bodies and the mandates, what they are imposing on people illegally, and how do we stop all this, and how do we stop the social credit system from coming in? Well, it's already in in Quebec. We will show you a little video. Mind you, it's in French, but I want you to think about this long and hard because everybody in Canada has decisions to make. It's not just the people of the province; it's everyone. It's not just up to us to try and stop this, but it can only be done by all the citizens uniting under one word or one strategy. I mean, there can be many strategies, but at least the one that's the most important is the legal one, where everybody has to be on the same page. And this is for the self-determination and decolonization. So I'm just going to read to you a little bit, and I'm going to actually share the screen here. I'm using another program, as you can see, because we're having major problems with Zoom and connectivity. So this is what, okay, I'll be showing you here. Okay. So we are witnessing the Canadian government take over of our country through public health mandate lies, which is destroying our rights and freedoms. This is being enforced by the corporate world governance globalization. Corporations have been taking over our governments and country through public-private partnerships since 1993, installed at the hands of both our conservative and liberal governments. This style of takeover has now been rolled out worldwide to other countries. By its own admission, the World Health Organization, the WHO, cannot override our human rights. The saying, our body, our choice, is meaningless without a clear and comprehensive understanding for informed consent. Children do not have the capability and cannot fully understand the implications of their consent, nor the inherent dangers and illegality of our public health and government actions. Protesting or stopping the mandates won't end the final takeover to achieve a world coup by the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum coup is presently being implemented through the positioning of their double agents over the past decades inside our political parties, lobby groups, education systems, associations, etc. This infiltration and control is now visible, creates, to say the least, huge conflicts of interest and insider trading, which is illegal in Canada. Unbeknownst to us, 2017 is the year that the status of Canadian citizens and Indigenous peoples were reduced to being merely clients in our country. It was also the year that global governance was initiated in Dubai by the World Economic Forum, and now in 2022, we are slaves to our Canadian federal and provincial governments, associations, corporations, and to debt without rights or recourse through the implementation of digital ID, Bill C-11, and all other other bills being pushed through, most of which are unknown to Canadians. Now, I just want to make sure that you're able to read all this. Okay, I'm just going to back it up a little bit. Okay, now that should be good. Okay, now without factual debate, proper judicial and political reviews, and all other required steps, these new laws are clearly being supported and or enforced by our parliamentarians, senators, public health officials, and all other levels of government, including provincial and municipal corporations, unions, education associations, military, RCMP, police, lawyers, and judges. Now, that is huge. It's extremely overwhelming to understand all this, and these people are advancing an ideology of world governance through the World Economic Forum and the implanted parliamentarians and officials that are running this country. This has been done for quite a long time. It actually started way back in the 1930s, and then 60s it escalated, and then the 1990s even more so. So when we're talking about our politicians as those in governance, not all of them, but the ones who are the most important are the conservatives and the liberals. And you must make sure that you understand the history there and what has transpired over the years. So that's important. So these implants, I call them double agents, are here to destroy the Constitution and our rights in order to implement the Global Parliament of Mayors, which is currently seen in Toronto and Ottawa. So this is what Doug Ford implemented by, giving the mayor of Ottawa and the mayor of Toronto veto rights over the elected the councillors. They will be able to, at their whim, to make any decisions they want. This is dangerous. The same goes for the premiers across Canada, as well as the prime minister and the liberals, and the ones next to come in, which are the conservatives, by design. Everything that you see has been already set up and is being played out in front of your eyes. So, to come back to this, it's really hard to get people to understand, but you need to start really educating yourself, and you need to be quick. So, all cities will now follow suit by installing the world government's chosen agents to become mayors with full veto power over the people's elected councillors. Mayors will be able to continue with lockdowns at their whim. What's the next lockdown? Mental. Okay. This structure of governance was established by the USA in 2008 by Obama and Harper, and was launched as the Strong Cities Network when Mayor of Montreal, Denis Coderre, was invited to a meeting along with, and not excluding, RPM Harper, President Obama, to meet the Pope. Okay, so and the Pope. Instituting the Global Parliament of Mayors as final decision makers with veto power, effectively creating city-states within our provinces, is the final deployment of global dictatorship, with Canadian politicians spearheading its implementation of global governance, using false pretenses and brainwashing mechanisms. Read the history page of the IDU.org. This is extremely important, as you'll see that it was the Bush family, George Bush Sr., who actually sent us Brian Mulroney, and they've been pretty much dictating what happens in Canada ever since. So if you look at the IDU, it's the Democratic Union. It's going to be the new implementation of political parties worldwide, and the one that is spearheading this and that got an award with Kissinger and others in Israel was the trophy for the Man of Conscience of the Year, if you remember that one. I just about fell off my chair. So Stephen Harper is looked by them as the Man of Conscience of the Year. Now, these are the same very people that run the World Economic Forum and have infiltrated the United Nations since pretty much the 1990s, along with Gorbachev and Maurice Strong under Agenda 21. Now, here's one question. Is this the life you want for your family and your future? I want you to think long and hard about this. Just because you're not seeing the bombs fall on your heads, they are exploding inside of young children, young adults, all now dying because of heart problems. There's only one common denominator there. Figure it out. How are we going to fix this? We can only fix this by working together, by uniting through the only viable solution without creating a physical war, is to do it legally. By legally, I mean under our political and civil rights, in regards to activating our political and civil rights to self-determination and decolonization. We did this physically in Ottawa on July 30th, 2020, as we launched this, as well as launching the conversation. This is not something that's going to be done overnight. However, we have taken other measures where we can try to force a constitutional change from the UK, because these are rights that we've had legally since 1931, and then for sure at the international level in 1960 and 1966. Canada and the UK have both signed on to that, and by law, those rights are already ours. So all we need is a correction, placing we, the Canadian citizens, and the Indigenous nations as co-owners, shareholders of the Crown of Canada, Canada as the country as a whole, and to start working together within the Truro Wampum Treaty with the Indigenous nations. It's the only way that we can do this legally. There is no other way than this. Unless, of course, our government would give it to us. However, that's not their agenda. And that's not the agenda of those who fund the political parties, because in the end, that is who the political parties listen to, not the people. Because if they listen to the people, then they can be charged with conflict of interest. There's a law for that. So if this is not the life you envision for you and your loved ones, and you feel that our Canadian federal and provincial governments or your employers have ignored you and your family's political, civil, charter, and human rights, then join the Canadian People's Union today. Nothing and no person can save you and your family but you. So I'm just going to bring this down again so that you can read this. Legally standing together for our political and civil rights to collective self-determination and properionization is the only way to stop the lies and manipulation we are witnessing today. Only the power of the people can stop this final countdown in Canada. Only the power of the people can protect our rights and our country for our children. Time is running out. You and we must all act now together to stop the complete takeover and enslavement of our people, our country, and humanity. So please join us at thepowershift.ca. You can either become a member, you can help by donating, and making sure that you sign your Citizens Convention of Consent. Anything that you are doing with other groups, whatever, that doesn't matter. As long as you sign your Convention of Consent, keep doing what you're doing, but at least sign that. And also help us to be able to get more people to sign and to also donate, because we need the funding. The funding is required, and all Canadians, it's everybody's responsibility to help make this happen. When we talk about self-determination and decolonization, we were actually decolonized in a sense back in 1982 and self-determined. However, it was not properly done. We can change that. And that can happen with your help. So I know that I'm not explaining everything in great detail here, but our marketing team has worked on a nice little project, which is a crash course for the CPU and what people can do. And that will be posted soon. You will see a video in regards to it by Richard and Jennifer, as well as there will be a link to more in-depth descriptions of the Q&As that we're posting on the website. So please, give us the weekend to finish and finalize all that, and we will be able to get some answers to your questions. Although we can't answer everything, you also need to look at the Global Parliament of Mayors that was launched in 2008 by Obama, and also what is happening in Montreal. And before we leave, I'd like to share a small video with you. I just don't know exactly, okay, if I'm going to be able to, oops, I'm going to do the stop sharing now on this one and see if I can find it. But it is horrific. The people were sending me that yesterday, and it's something else, people. It is something else. Mind you, this is going to be in French. Okay. And I'll explain it in English as we go. But anyways, I'm just going to make sure that I can see yous again. I know where the yous are. Okay. I kind of just lost you there between my pages. Okay. There we go. I found you again. Now to share the screen. Okay. It's not here. And here we go. Share. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see this. Okay. Yeah, there you go. There we go. And here.
Salut tout le monde, je voulais faire un petit live. C'est la première fois que je fais ça de ma vie. Je voulais faire un petit live. Moi, je suis camionneur, puis je viens porter ma vanne. Je viens porter mon voyage ici. Puis là, première fois que je viens ici, je sais pas trop comment ça marche. Fait que là, je me dis, je vais aller en dedans, m'en aller voir ça, porter mes papiers, mes billes. Job de camionneur, là. Puis là, je me rends compte que tabarnak, je suis en Chine, ça? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Alors, regardez-moi ça.
Okay, this is a trucker that went to deliver the stuff in his stuff in the trailer, and then he went to bring the paperwork inside the office, and this is what he's seen. This is implemented at a trucking company in Quebec. Don't know exactly which place, but these are starting to be implemented throughout Quebec, and then eventually throughout all of Canada. And this is what's coming. This is what they have in China, and this is part of the digital ID that is coming out, and why we're in a rush to try and get some injunctions and get lawyers working on this. And without your help, we can't get anywhere. We need the funding. We need the Canadian citizens to help, and for everybody to do their part to stop this. So you'll be able to see exactly what's going on here, but how can I say, by the end of the video, what he's done is just dropped his papers off and went and laughed because he was so pissed off. So I'll keep playing it.
Prends ta température, check si t'as un masque, tout. Puis là, t'as une belle machine que tu peux pas rentrer.
Okay, what you first saw with that little mirror there, that's to be able to get your facial recognition, as well as take your temperature before you can even get it, before the doors will open. And then when you come in, you have to place. You cannot pass through if you do not wash your hands through this machine.
Si tu laves pas tes mains dedans, tu vois les deux trous, tu rentres tes mains, puis là, ils te lavent les mains, puis là, la guérite peut ouvrir. Sans masque, je vais ajuster votre position, faut prendre ta température. Écoute ce qu'elle dit. Wow! Wow! C'est pas merveilleux? C'est vers ça qu'on s'en va, les amis. La grosse crise de bombe. Un esti de monde de débiles. Une bande d'hypochondriaques dans un esti de pays communiste. Ça fait dur en tabarnak. Qui mange tout de la merde. Moi, j'ai pas passé les contrôles, j'ai collé les papiers en arrière dans la boîte. Puis, pas question que j'embarque là-dedans. Puis, heureusement, ils ont voulu me décharger, parce que sinon, je laissais le reste à vendre ici, puis je collais ça mon camp. Gang de sale. Fait que, c'est ça. C'est ce que je voulais vous montrer. Pas vraiment long, mais ça va être de même de plus en plus partout, malgré qu'il n'y a jamais eu de COVID, malgré que leur fausse épidémie est finie. Écoute, ça continue de plus en plus belle, c'est tout nouveau, ça. Écoutez, je sais pas si vous avez des trucs.
Okay, so this is it. And I'm gonna stop live stream if I can find it here. Okay, there we go. And I hope you enjoyed that little piece of information. But, that in combination with the Global Parliament of Mayors, the mayors will have veto powers. The mayors will be able to enforce all the corporations to have these machines inside the city and everywhere else. Now, let me ask you again. Is this the kind of life you want for you and your family, for your future? If not, join us at thepowershift.ca, become a member of the Canadian People's Union, and help in any which way you can. We need you. Thank you.